So today I want to talk about connection and the fact that everything that we feel that we don't like, all of the habits, all of the addictions, really can be traced back to a need for connection. And most people don't realize how much we need that connection and what's really going on under the surface. So I want to dive into that so you can understand how to address these needs in your life and you can take some action steps. For those who are new to my channel, I'm Ketra Thompson, and I'm a certified master hypnotist and a relational recovery coach. So what I do is I help my clients go back on a subconscious level to the belief system that was formed and is driving their unwanted behavior, their unwanted feelings, or their unwanted dynamics in their life. If they're unable to connect with people or succeed in a certain area, we reframe that on a subconscious level so they have a new operating system, so they can finally get momentum in their life, which is amazing to watch. So if you'd like to learn more about that, there is a link in the description below. You can check out my website, you can check out the details that I do for couples coaching, for individual coaching, and I couple all of that with customized hypnotherapy processes. So all of that's there, and you can set up a completely complimentary, totally free consultation call so that we can chat and you can find out, get your questions answered. I can find out more about you. We can find out if we're a good fit to work together. So check that out, and if this content resonates with you, be sure to click like and subscribe so you can be notified every time I post a new video. So we tend to think that the symptom is the issue. We think that the drinking is the issue, the smoking is the issue, the overeating is the issue, the anger, the social anxiety, all of it is the issue, but it's not. It's just the symptom. If we think about the issue of losing weight or emotional eating, it's all about acceptance. It's also about suppressing these feelings. All of these habits end up being about suppressing a feeling that you don't know how to process. And at some point in your life, you didn't know how to meet the need that that feeling was bringing up in you, so you met it with something different like food. But it's also about connection, because we needed connection to either process our feelings that we were going through at the time that no one helped us process, or we needed acceptance for who we were in that moment and we didn't get it. And so this break in the connection that we needed caused us to develop this issue. So even confidence is a connection issue. We want to be connected to people who see our worth, people who value who we are and who appreciate us. And so a lack of confidence means we are not connected to people who are helping us feel better about ourselves, right? And confidence can go a little deeper than that, in that we can have confidence without external validation, and of course that's the goal ultimately. But getting confidence in the short term is about validation of others. We aren't meant to do this alone. We aren't meant to navigate life alone. And oftentimes, especially as we're growing up, we define our value, our self-worth, and our view of ourselves based on what other people express to us with their connection or their lack of connection. When you look at social anxiety is this desire to be connected, but this fear of rejection. We're so afraid we'll be rejected by the people we already have some level of connection with, that then we'll lose all connection with them. We'll be judged by them. And this fear becomes paralyzing. So even reactivity, when we have these triggers come up, it's because we have a fear underneath it. A fear of judgment, a fear of rejection, a fear that we're going to be told that we're not enough. So the fear of rejection highlights our need for connection. So I think that's where a lot of people really overlook it. We can say, oh, it's not about the symptom that's showing up, it's about the fear. And it is, but what is the fear about? The fear is about loss of connection. We're meant to be tribal people. We are meant to be together, to learn together, to cook together, to grow together, to communicate. We are not meant to figure it out alone. And the toxic society that we live in and really have been in for close to 100 years now has been teaching this kind of independence. We have to do it alone. We have to forge our own path. We have to conquer the West, right? Like all of this stuff is about doing it on your own. And when you look at reality and you look at history, humans have never done it on their own. They do not succeed on their own. Matter of fact, the death rates for loneliness-related disease far outweigh everything else. We aren't functioning at our best when our nervous system isn't calmed down because we know we aren't doing it alone. And there's lots of ways to calm your nervous system. There's lots of good techniques, but the deepest, most satisfying way for your nervous system to just relax and finally allow you to create out of flow and creativity is to know that they're not doing it alone, that someone's got your back. You've got a teammate that's moving in the same direction as you with the same goals, and that you aren't going to be abandoned. So this fear of loss of connection is what's driving so much of this behavior that's actually sabotaging your life. So I wanted to talk about this topic because I think it's misunderstood. I think that so many of us think we've got to accomplish X, Y, and Z. We've got to be fully healed before we can attempt to let someone else in our life. We have to accomplish this level of income. We have to buy a house. We have to whatever. I don't care what the topic is. If you have those rules for yourself, you are shooting yourself in the foot, because the reality is that we are better together. We are better when our nervous system calms down, knowing we've got a teammate and that we're moving in the right direction. That's when we can create. That's when we enter a state of relaxation that allows us to thrive in our careers, to thrive in our hobbies, to thrive in our other connected relationships in our life, because we have the stability of knowing that we are safely, securely connected and supported. And so I just want to kind of kill this myth that you have to have it all figured out before you bring someone else into your life for connection. You don't. Matter of fact, you will heal more in a committed, connected relationship than you will outside of it. Because not only does your nervous system calm down because it feels safely connected, but now you also see things about yourself that you would have never seen before. So you can try to do all the healing work you want, but until you start interacting with other people, you don't see the mirror held back at you. You don't have someone, especially if it's not an intimate partner, that is the person in your life that holds up the mirror that shows you, oh yeah, I still have an issue here, right? Oh, I'm still triggered in this area of my life, and maybe I should give that some time and effort to heal that. So we talk a lot about healing before we do anything else. Healing is a journey, and it's a journey meant to be taken with someone else. And that's why hiring help to get you big momentum in your healing process is really important. I would not be where I am today if I had not hired experts to help me on the journey. I needed it desperately. And I am someone who reads insane amounts of books. I stopped counting when I hit the 600 mark, okay? I could gain all of that knowledge and all of that wisdom and still not have reached the healing goals that I wanted if I hadn't had someone to help me on the journey, because I couldn't see all of the things myself. We don't see what's going on inside ourselves as clearly as other people can. And so working together with them to give them the insights and things that are going on with you, and then also taking on their insights of what's going on, is the best path to healing. This is what I love about what I do. I get to help my clients reprocess these things on a subconscious level so that this healing process doesn't feel so tedious. It doesn't feel so drug out, so long, so difficult, so hard. And don't get me wrong, it's hard work, but it's rapid. So my clients are getting huge benefits in a shorter amount of time. And yes, they're still going to be on a healing journey, even after that. So let's just throw that myth in the garbage. You do not need to wait for your life to be in order. You do not need to wait for you to do all the healing work before you can get connected to other people in your life, before you can be in a romantic relationship, before you can create a new circle of friends, before you accomplish that thing. You don't need that. What you need is the ability to be conscious about your choices so that you can start fulfilling the needs that you have in your life. So, here's the steps you can take on your own starting today. You can make a conscious effort to get out of your house. Call someone, go somewhere, go to a new store, go to a farmer's market, go to a local concert, go do anything. Take a class, take a painting class, a pottery class, take a tour of your own city, pretend you're a tourist. I don't care what you do. Do something that creates connection. Call on that friend. They're probably just as lonely as you are. Start making those connections purposefully. And the second thing you can do is when those fears come up around doing this new thing, start tuning into what those things are telling you. Start slowing down and paying attention to it. Let's say you go out and you're with some friends and you made some connections and you get home and then you just start scrolling through social media. Instead of that, stop and just sit with it and go, how did I feel tonight? What's one thing I felt? What's one thing I wanted or needed or desired while I was in that space? What could have made it better, more fulfilling for me? This allows you to start checking in with yourself so that you are tuned in to what you want and need. This allows you to start the work on your own of being self-reflective. The more you learn about what's going on inside of you, the more you can make educated decisions about what you do with your life on the outside of you. And the more you can hopefully get centered in yourself and let go of all the storytelling that happens. We create these scenarios in our head of, if I do this or don't do that, then this is going to happen or not happen, and that's what it's going to look like, and eventually they're going to be mad and they're going to leave. So we think if we don't have all our ducks in a row before we get connected to someone, that they're going to eventually see how terrible and awful we are and abandon us. And these are lies. These are stories we're telling ourselves. And they might be based on the past, and they might be based on a few things we've seen, but it does not make them true. We just believe that they are because we've lost our ability to see endless possibilities in every situation. And you know what? There are endless possibilities. We think there's only one or two paths, but it's not true. There are possibilities we couldn't even begin to fathom. So having a level of openness about yourself to whatever possibilities come your way opens you up to a different kind of life. But I want you to remember, as you're navigating life, you need to feel supported. Not only because you have this emotional need or a physical need for connection, but also because your nervous system has this need. It needs to feel at ease and calmed down so that you can function best in your life. So try to just ask yourself where you're not connected in places that you need to be connected. Is it that intimate relationship? Is it that friend group? Is it that hobby or some outside thing that allows for creativity to come alive in your life? Whatever it is, start asking yourself the questions about what you can do, what the next step is, so that you can actually start meeting that need for yourself. And if you'd like some help navigating this on a subconscious level, set up that consultation call. I would love to dive into this deeper with you and to really get to the heart of what's going on with you, because I know that that's what I needed in my life. I had done it all the therapy, all the EMDR, all the specialists, all of it, from being in this very toxic, narcissistic relationship with my ex, trying desperately to redefine myself and climb out of that pit. And the one thing that gave me traction beyond everything else was customized hypnotherapy with the modality of hypnotherapy that I specifically use now. So of course I'm passionate about it. Of course, I believe in it, and I want the world to know that this is such an amazing option because it takes so little time to do an insane amount of work. I can't tell you how many of my clients have said this was worth more than 5 years of regular talk therapy, because it creates that much momentum. So just remember, everyone's journey is different, but it's worth checking out what works for you and investing in yourself. Until next time, I hope you create connections that help calm your nervous system, calm your heart and mind, so that fear of rejection isn't driving unwanted behavior. And I hope you're curating a life by your own design.